Good morning, it's the 25th of May today. Beautiful morning. We've had 3 days of very strong winds and they've done a fair bit of damage. Not on structures but on plants that I had in. I had some lovely broad beans, about nicely flowered, almost a metre high. They're all flattened. Some of the peas are pulled down off the framework, but never mind. You know, we're fortunate there's been no damage structurally. This morning, I'm just going to show you. I've had a little change of mind about certain things. I've got 2 dozen leeks that hadn't been collected, which were orders. They're in 3 litre pots, and it's the last leeks that I've got apart from stock plants which I've put away. They're looking kind of decent, and I was looking at the earlier Cumbrian that I'd put in, some that I didn't actually fancy. So the centres weren't growing the way I like to see them. Quite big, 8-9 inches around. These ones are probably only 4 inches around, but I decided to lift some of the other ones out and replace them, which I'll show you. But I'll turn the camera around and we'll just have a little look. This is the 2 dozen leeks that weren't collected. So we'll move in and have a look in the tunnel. You can see I've dug the first 2 out. They're still nice. I haven't watered them in yet. I've just dug them out. You can see the soil and that. Then we'll move on to the bigger ones further along. I did have thrip in the early stages, but if you look now, they're lovely and clean. Obviously the bit virus which they carry. Moving along, you can see there's another very small one. There's another 2 there. So you can see just what I'm doing. It's actually a good experiment. There's a lot of big leeks around. Whether they see the show bench or not, I don't know. We'll actually be able to look at these. There was a guy asked a question on Facebook the other day saying, did anybody get leeks this time of the year that are capable of winning shows? Hopefully we'll see some here that possibly are capable of winning shows. While we're on, we'll have there's the leeks that I've dug out. The other 3 are through into the pigs. While we're on, we'll have a little look around. Me as well. Some cosmos coming along very nicely over there. I've just had a daughter, she's been for some more baskets actually, but she's asked me to do some cosmos tubs for her. Fuchsia baskets up at height, all looking kind of nice. Tub work along the bottom here. Some fuchsia baskets here. They're looking nice. The variety's Gene Taylor on those. Calabresa baskets up the top, nice, and these ones are all looking fairly nice. These are stock plants along the bottom. So as you see, I've actually got bigger leeks in larger containers than the ones that I've that were ready for the orders. This lot down here are for stock. I could have dug these leeks out the trench and put those ones in, but decided to give it a fair bash, the fair crack of the whip, and as I say, put the very last of my leeks into the trenches and just see what they make. Some nice pots up here. These are all now for our own use. Really big white ones, as I say there. My daughter was, she still is getting married, she hopes. And they were for her. Red, white and blue up at height. I've still got 1 or 2, I've got wall baskets still to do up the top. We'll quickly look down here. Run up, French beans, but they are climbing French beans. They're to go in the next bed along. This time of the year now, which time you're starting to put everything into the into the ground. Sweet corn dried out and got burnt, whether it's any good. These are known as Trixies. That's 1.5 litre pot with 1 plug in. There's 3 plants in there, 3 different colours, growing nicely. That's what I normally put in the baskets. Some busy lizzies. We'll take a quick look at the seed onions. Very pleased with these, looking good. They're all popping their heads up now. No heads open as yet. I hope they don't open, well, we're at the end of the month, but the first week in June is normally when I get my beehives in. We borrow a couple of beehives, so I've got plenty of borage, foxgloves and lavender to encourage the bees. Down that side are all the king pods off the leeks from last year. They're starting to throw their heads up, as we can see. Just take a look there. If I can, you can just see the heads there. We look at some stock at the other end. This house is a stock house down the bottom here. This is where I grow a lot of plants for stock. I need plenty for every year. And as you can see, the beans and that, some of them are still stood up, but a lot of them are flattened. Everything's growing well in that outside bed. I'll quickly show you some new varieties of coleus. I know we've got one or two coleus admirers and who grow coleus. These are still small pots. This variety, there's 3 different colours here. This is called Flamethrower, and I've seen them at Ball Colgrave's trial grounds last year, and they were absolutely stunning as large plants. So they're coming along nicely. There's 3 different. There's an orangey one, habanero. This one is called Salsa, and this one is Salsa Verde. Salsa Verde and Salsa Roja. That's a red, a green, lime green. We'll have a look at those later on. Some of the begonias are coming along very nicely. These are all coleus on this side, as you can see. Shooting Star, it's a nice variety. They've gone already because they flowered early. A few different types here. This is Starshine, mixed trailing. That's trailing varieties. We move down into the mocha varieties. It's they're like non-stops, but it's the dark leaf varieties, and a few left of the large ones. Large non-stops. Right, we'll have a quick look in the greenhouse up here. Onions on that side, growing very nicely now, quite happy with those. Peppers growing away very nicely. There's a few small fruits on, courgettes ready to be planted. Tomatoes doing quite well. We'll look round the other side and you'll see the tomatoes better. There's been some superb Lakeland Icelandic lettuce. It's like an iceberg type. They've been beautiful. Right, I've now got all the stock plants cleaned right down, and I'm very pleased with them. I've got very even, beautiful heads. These are all pendle, as you can see. They're all beautiful and clean. They've all been trimmed back. There's one on the opposite side which I've left not completely trimmed, just to show you. Nice heads all the way through. This is a fantastic spring onion. We've had plenty pulled for salads. Guardsman, it's quite a big one, but they're stunning and beautiful flavour. Moving into the pot leeks here. You can see the pot leeks are swelling at the bottom. They are king pods that's starting to grow. And again, nice heads as we go through. All single, no suckers in any. Very nice, some nice lettuce again. Move through here. Right, these have all been cut back, and as you can see, the heads are just starting to pop through. I do like to take the foliage back. They were sprayed this morning. There's a one here. Now, this is what I was going to show you. If you look at this particular plant here, you can see all the foliage has been cut right back. The foliage has done its job. They were beautiful, clean, healthy foliage, and it's a shame to cut them off. But there was so much foliage, it was difficult to get in and spray them. And I'm always worried that thrip gets into that centre. And if we look here, you can see how clean the foliage is. It's beautiful. Right the way down. But if you look right in the very centre here, I don't know if you can see that, that's actually got thrip on it. The centre growth is plagued, so you've got to be very careful. You can see the thrip there, so they're going to get cut off now because the head's just popping through, and I don't want thrip to get onto that head. So I'll remove all this foliage, I'll cut it right back as I have done with this, and it's much easier to control. So, right, moving back around here, we've got chives growing like mad. Some of it's still not planted. Tomatoes are doing very well. I've cut some of the bottom foliage off further along just to let the air through. Keep on taking the side shoots off. Don't like doing it in the heat of the sun, but there we are. I'll show you a few that I stuck in the soil before. Little gem lettuce, little gem red lettuce, tomatoes, I say. Right, these are the ones that I snapped the side shoots off and stuck them in front of the plant. They've rooted up. It's taking about a fortnight or so. I'll just dig a couple out and have a look, see what they're like. There we are, look at the roots on that. So it's very easy. They weren't put in proper compost or anything, they were just snapped off and put in the soil. and they've rooted up. They've got beautiful roots on them, as you can see. 1 or 2 nettles there. But potted up, that would make a nice plant, or planted out somewhere else. The ones in the top greenhouse are probably doing a little bit better than these. They were planted slightly after these. My wife looks after them up there. They were, if you remember on YouTube, I did put a post on about those, how I was doing them, and it seems to be paying off because they're growing very well. A lot of them have got fruit on now, and as I say, they're a bit behind these. These are the earlier ones, starting to come up nicely. This is Red Dragon. Plenty on here, so I'm more than happy. The basil's all doing well, but stock plants all the way along doing very nicely. I've got borage here, foxgloves, and some lavender plants, which will help the bees get in and do pollination, because I am going to take some seed from the Blanchicks this year. Don't know if you can see as we walk along, plenty of seed heads starting to form. Very good, I'll do an update in a week or so. Thank you.